Scene 3. Stranger than fiction. And it came to pass, at the hour of twilight, when the sky wore its indigo robe and the stars blinked like ancient prophets, that Ashura prepared the evening meal in silence. Her hand stirred the pot, but her spirit stirred the heavens. Meanwhile, Yahweh and Jesus sat cross-legged upon the living room floor, their fingers wrapped around controllers of divine circuitry. Below, this was no mere game, for the world they dwelt in was not of flesh and pixels, but of cosmic augmented reality, where play became prophecy and fiction bent to the will of the soul. And as Yahweh passed the controller to Jesus, the veil between realms thinned. Their spirits were drawn into the game. Council, a sacred chamber of code and consequence. Their bodies remained behind, still and glowing, like husks awaiting resurrection. They saw themselves from outside themselves and knew they were gods. Yahweh, the Father, sought to test the daughter, to measure her spales, her strength, her evolution through eternities of exile and practice. But Jesus had changed. She now bore the armor of mystic runes, trimmed in starlight. Her sword, my word, could be summoned with a whisper. Her skirt bore the Star of David. Her gloves were black with red-tipped fingers, and the beads in her hair shimmered like galaxies unborn. Her eyes glowed with the fire of her lineage. Yahweh, by contrast, was raw and ancient. He wielded the staff of Moses, wrapped in chains that coiled around his torso like serpents of judgment. His horns protruded, subtle yet sovereign. He wore no shirt, only legacy. He was a champion of the old wars, the kind that split dimensions and rewrote time. For the wars of gods are not as the wars of men. There is no death, only scattering. Their essence fractures across realities, blinking in and out of epochs and realms. To battle is to risk regression, exile, or even mortality. And when the tournament of the gods is called, the stakes become eternal. Yahweh chose the battleground Petrosa, a rocky planet of volcanic breath and trembling soil. They flew across its tundra, searching for a place to begin. Yeah, it was stretched like a justice master, but it was vanity, a father's bluff to impress his daughter. Jesus did not wait. She headbutted him, launching him into a mountain with the force of prophecy. Her appearance fierce, divine, unpredictable, unsettled even the ancient ones. But Yahweh was not shaken. From the mountain, he summoned a flood, a torrent of holy water rushing toward her. Jesus stood upon the water, her feet firm as scripture. She ran toward the mountain, unaware that horns were sprouting from her brow, the inheritance of her bloodline. She leapt, sword ablaze, and cleaved the mountain in twain. But Yahweh rose from the waters, blocking her strike with the staff of Moses. Its cracks glowed like fire. He kicked her in the chest and cried, "Do not lose focus." She sank into the flood, but her aura ignited. Beneath the waves, she forged a mini-sun, a burning orb of divine heat which evaporated most of the water around her. Like it was nothing. Yahweh, alarmed, wrapped the sun in a garment of shifting metal, shrinking it to a marble and hurling it back. The explosion sent Jesus flying, her body lost to sight. Yahweh searched the skies, but she was beneath him. Her hands burst from the ground, grabbing his ankles and dragging him into the earth. Only his head remained above the soil. She rose, horns fully revealed, sparks dancing around her. She charged, her foot aflame, and kicked his head like a celestial soccer ball, sending him hurtling into another mountain. She thought the battle won, but Yahweh reappeared, binding her with his chains, spinning her until her consciousness frayed. She cried out, coughed, and Yahweh grew heavy, crashing to the ground. Then she whispered, "You Alam," and Yahweh fell into sleep. Thus the match ended, and the victory belonged to Jesus. But the sleep of gods is never long. Moments later, horns echoed through the cosmos, a sound older than time, calling all divine beings to the tournament. And from the shadows stepped Enki, her elder cousin, bearer of forgotten waters and forbidden knowledge. To be continued. Want more of reality of God? Click like.